Tonight, the desert felt like a mirror, reflecting every quiet truth I had tried to outrun. The sky hung low and wide, a silent witness to the transformation of a heart that has learned to breathe. Without leaning on yesterday, I stood at the crest of a dune where the wind moves freely, where the sand carries the footsteps of travelers who came searching for themselves, and I realized I had become one of them, a seeker, a wanderer, a soul finally returning home to its own strength. Oh, you, who once lived in every thought, every pause, every breath. Tonight I felt your presence, not as longing, not as a shadow, but as a soft reminder of who I used to be. There was a time when your name was the compass of my emotions, when every heartbeat leaned in your direction. But time teaches gently, and the desert even more so. The wind carried a whisper across the sand, almost like a verse, almost like a blessing. When a heart grows, it outgrows its cages, and suddenly, everything became clear. I am no longer held by the gravity of what was, no longer pulled by memories that once ruled my quiet nights. I have stepped beyond that fragile version of myself, the one who thought peace depended on another soul. O beloved of a story, written in shifting sands, tonight I thanked you without speaking your name, thanked you for the light you brought, the lessons you carved, the doorways you opened inside me. You were a chapter I once read with trembling hands, but now hold with quiet gratitude. The stars shone brighter, as if blessing the release, and I felt something lift. A weight I didn't know still lingered, a breath I didn't know I'd been holding. I told the night, I am ready to walk forward, and the night answered with a gentle silence that felt like acceptance. Oh, you, who awakened the poet in me, know this truth. You no longer define my loneliness. You no longer shape my dawns. You simply exist as a soft echo in a heart that has learned how to expand without breaking. I took a step forward, then another, leaving behind the last remnants of what once held me. And the desert, kind, ancient, patient, rewrote my footprints with its own timeless hand. A truth settled over me, like moonlight on still water. Quiet, gentle, complete. The horizon does not ask who you once loved. It only asks who you are ready to become. And tonight, for the first time in years, I answered with certainty. I am becoming my seat. Tonight, the desert felt like a sanctuary, a place where every scattered thought finally found a place to land. The sky above was vast and unbroken, a sea of silver stillness, reflecting the calm I had longed for but never fully understood. I walked slowly across the soft ridges, feeling the cool sand shift beneath my feet, and with every step, I felt layers of the past gently fall away. Oh, you, whose presence once filled the rooms of my heart with echoing light. Tonight I realized something I had never dared to admit. I am no longer waiting for the viry. Tonight I sat beneath a sky, so still, so endless. It felt as though the universe itself paused to listen. The desert stretched around me in quiet gold shadows, its breath slow, its presence ancient. And in that vastness, something inside me softened, something that had been tense for far too long. Oh, you, whose memory once stirred storms. Inside the quietest parts of me, tonight I felt the echo of your name rise gently, not with ache, not with longing, but with a tenderness that surprised even me. I touched the cool sand and whispered, "I am learning to return to myself." The sand held my words as patiently as it once held my tears, my questions, my confusion. The wind shifted, carrying faint traces of distant dunes and untouched horizons. It brushed past me softly, as though acknowledging the change in my heartbeat. Quieter, steadier, no longer calling out for what was lost. Somewhere inside this silence, I realized I no longer search for you in the folds of memory. I no longer wait for your shadow to tell me where I belong. The person who once needed you no longer exists, and the person I have become carries your memory like a gentle ember, warm but no longer burning. Oh, beloved of a story, that time has softened. You were never a mistake, never a wound. You were a bridge between who I was and who I was meant to be. A brief constellation that lit my sky before disappearing beyond the horizon. Tonight, the stars shimmered with quiet approval, as if they, too, had been waiting for this moment of clarity. I whispered into the night. I released the echo, but I keep the wisdom. The night accepted my words, without resistance, without question, the way the desert accepts every footprint before reshaping itself again. This is what healing looks like, I realized. Not forgetting, not erasing, but holding the memory with so much grace that it no longer trembles inside the heart. Oh, you, who once taught my soul its first language of longing, tonight I speak a quieter language, a language of peace, of self-truth, of horizons that belong only to me. The moon drifted behind a dune, and I rose slowly, leaving footprints that felt lighter than they have ever been. And in that moment, a final truth settled upon me, soft, steady, undeniable. The journey was never about finding you. It was about finding the version of myself that knew how to let you go without losing the beauty of what you once awakened. Tonight, I walked onward, not alone, but complete.